talking about the book of Ruth. And for many women, it is a favorite. We loved, I don't know about you, but I personally love reading about other women in the Bible, love reading about Esther, love reading about the book of Ruth. And so in the beginning of the book of Ruth, we see Naomi, who's the mother-in-law, Ruth, and Orpah. And so Ruth and Orpah are the daughter-in-law, and Naomi is the mother-in-law. And so it's really tragic actually in the beginning because all of their husbands die. And so Naomi strongly urges Orpah and Ruth to go home because it's hard for a single woman to get by in a place where they have no family. And so she's headed back to Bethlehem, and Orpah leaves right away, but Ruth is determined to stay with her mother-in-law. She's extremely loyal to her and determined to stay with her. In fact, she says this, and it's so touching. It's very, very touching, and we can see a beautiful relationship between the mother-in-law, Naomi, and Ruth. It says, "But Ruth said, 'Entreat me not to leave you, or to turn back from following after you. For wherever you will go, I will go, and wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. The Lord do so to me, and more also, if anything but death parts you and me.'" And it's beautiful, and it just really shows us how dedicated Ruth is to Naomi. And so then Naomi and Ruth leave to Bethlehem because Naomi knows she's not getting rid of Ruth. Ruth is stuck with her. And so they go to Bethlehem together, where Ruth meets a gentleman named Boaz, and he is a farmer, and he's wealthy, and he, most importantly, is just so kind to her, and he is interested in her. And so, just completely kind to her and nice. And so next, what happens is that Ruth is interested in Boaz. She learns that he is a close relative of Naomi. Naomi wants to set them up, and so Ruth gets out of her mourning clothes. And when I say morning, I'm not talking about daytime, early morning. I'm talking about grieving clothes. Before, she was wearing grieving clothes after her husband died, and so now she's back into other clothes that are not grieving clothes. And so she lets Boaz know that she is available for marriage, and she ends up lying at his feet, and he says, "You've been incredibly kind to me. If the kingsman who's first in line to marry you doesn't marry you, I will." Boaz approaches the kingsman and tells him that he is first in line to marry Ruth. Is he going to marry her or not? Because he wants to marry Ruth. And so the kingsman wants to at first, and then realizes it's going to mess up his inheritance because she's a Moab woman. And so he does not end up marrying her. But Boaz is really excited because now he gets to marry her. And so they get married and they have a baby, and it completely just brings joy to Naomi, who before wanted to be renamed the equivalent of bitter. It was Mara. She wanted to be named, which means bitter. But now she's happy. There's a baby. And what's really neat is that this baby is the ancestor of David. And so it tells the genealogy at the end, because we just see the significance that this baby is Obed is the ancestor of David. And so it's really neat. Some other things I just found interesting about this book was that, even though the Lord is never mentioned by the author, now the Lord is mentioned in here by the characters, but not by the author. It's really significant because we see the whole time the Lord working behind the scenes. I mean, we see it in the life of Naomi, because Naomi in the beginning is so depressed. And, she doesn't think anything good is going to happen for her, but continuously God is working and working out all things for his good. And we just see it continuously. God is amazing. I mean, I'm sure there's so many times in my life where I thought things were terrible, but really God was working it out for his good. And I know there's been many. God does that with all of us, by the way. He can use tragedy for victory. Just saying. But we see the theme of loyalty in this book. Loyalty of the Lord, loyalty of the characters, Ruth and Naomi, to the book of Ruth. It's a great read. I hope you guys enjoy it whenever you read it. Please watch this next video, and God bless you guys. Bye.